Yeah, hi everyone. Today we are going to start a complete new series about Microsoft Foundry. So in this series, what we are going to see is how can use this Microsoft Foundry feature. So you all know that this is one of the feature in Azure. This is basically a platform. So it is offered as a platform as a service. So where we can do all kind of works related to agentic AI creation or anything related to AI, right? So which is a complete full package of all the platform related to AI agents. So all the tools are available in one place. So how I'm planning to take this series is like we'll start with a overview about this Microsoft Foundry, and we'll see like what are the different components in this tool in this Microsoft Foundry, and how we can create a basic agent. For example, let me show one. So this is one of the agent which is hosted in the Microsoft Foundry. So I created a agent which is a small agent like which can use some ACP tool to fetch some details about your Azure infra. For example, let me start asking like what you can do. Let's see like what this agent is capable of. So it is using some background models. Currently I'm using the GPT model, and yeah, let me first go through the response first. So here is what I know it can help in specifically with Azure, because this agent is basically used to support Azure specific queries. So it can discover the list of subscription resources, resource groups, resources. It can create some inventory report. It can it will be useful for showing some configurations, what have been configured in particular areas, or what are the components in it, and how we can run some queries, how we can pull some Azure monitor metrics or logs like a health status of a particular resource. So diagnosing multiple services. So all these things I can do it. Even a deployment can also be done, but this particular agent I'm not providing the appropriate permission to do any creation or deletion, like any more kind of write operations, right? I have not given this particular tool that kind of level of access, but if you provide that level of access, you can create the resources as well, do some modification in the existing resources, like configuration changes or something like that. So for example, let me show you the real practical example. List all my Azure subscriptions. Let's see how it is pulling. So it is using some MCP agent in the MCP tool in the background of this agent. So as I said earlier, so I'm using the GPT-5 model. So it is a good reasoning model, so it can be used. So you have to pick up the model based on what kind of agent that you are planning to create. So depending on the purpose of the tool, so you can we have to choose the model, appropriate model accordingly. So all these things I can cover in this entire series. So here also now we can see that Azure subscription. So it is pulling one subscription because I'm only having one subscription in my environment. So it is giving the subscription ID, tenant ID. Anyway, it's a free subscription account, so I'm going to remove it shortly. So yeah, this is how we can create some agentic tools in this using the Microsoft Foundry. Before going any further, like I would like you all to please do support and subscribe. So based on your support only, I'm planning to put more videos on in-depth concepts regarding the creation of the entire agent, how we can add some memory to the agent, how we can maintain the context, like some advanced level of things. Like we can start from the basic because we cannot directly jump into the advanced level. So we first have to understand the concept of how agent works, how the platform basically works, what are the different components in the platform, and how we can integrate multiple tools to the agents, how we can give some specific functionality to the agents, how we can define the prompt, the system prompt, based on like what type of agent that you're creating. So we have to give a specific prompt to the agent. So all these things will be covering in the future sessions. So yeah, please do subscribe. I will go with the overview of this particular Microsoft Foundry. So here I'm just going to give a high-level overview, like what is this Microsoft Foundry. As I said earlier, so it's a platform as a service where we can do all kind of development activities with respect to the AI agent. So if you are working in an organization and some enterprise level, some agentic AI you wanted to build, or some RAG agent you want to build, or some voice agent you want to build for a particular service automation or something like that. So you can use this as a full-fledged set of all the tools are available in this platform. whatever that you need or you will be requiring for building an agent, right? Everything is available in here, including the monitoring and evaluation or fine-tuning on a particular model. So everything is available, including the network policies, security, governance. So those are some of the high-level components. So governance is one of the main component in building an AI agent, because when you're building an agent, so it's we have to build a responsible AI. So from Microsoft side, they will call us responsible AI. Why? Because the agent should do only what it is intended to do, other than if something, okay, we built an agent for some purpose and it is doing the purpose, but on the other hand it is doing some other activities which you don't want the agent to do. Okay, for example, if it is exposing some of our critical informations to the user, so maybe like you don't want your personal information to be showcased to the some of the users who are using this agent. Okay, but if the agent is doing, so what will happen? So it will be a problem, it will be a big case, right? For example, we are using day to day in our life ChatGPT and Gemini, so we are sharing some photos asking to edit it, but what if the photos been shared to some other person? So that will be a big compliance issue, big security issue. So that's where the governance things comes into the part. So that's all, so that and all, like it has to be an integral part of building an AI agent. So all these components and tools are available in this Microsoft Foundry. So that's a main item over here. So you can build everything over here with respect to AI agents. So how this has been, there are some different components in this Microsoft Foundry. Let me go to the architecture first. So there are some high-level components. Let me go to that. But yeah, so previously it was like Azure AI Foundry, something like that. Now they have rebranded or renamed it to Microsoft Foundry. So the high-level component here is the Microsoft Foundry resource. So I will show you the portal side also, but now I'm giving the high-level context. So Microsoft Foundry is the high-level resource. Inside this Microsoft Foundry resource, you can create agents, evaluations, Azure OpenAI, speech service, submission service, language service, content understanding side. Many of the services will be available. So all the services is an subcomponent of this. So we have to create under this Microsoft Foundry, you have to create one project. So project is like one of the sub layer or sub resource of the Microsoft Foundry. So once you create a project, you will have a set of it's a unique one. Like if you are working, if multiple teams are working on multiple different projects, then how you can isolate it? So the Microsoft Foundry project is the one we can create one project, and that will be isolated from the other projects. So whatever the work that you are doing, it will be within this particular project only. And Azure speech, Foundry tools, language, vision. So these are like different tools. So the speech is something like it's a text based. For example, if you have some text and your agent want to understand like what has been written. For example, if you are building some agent for FAQ services, okay, some question and answer is okay, frequently asked questions. So that kind of services, right? So the agent has to understand the question, semantic analysis, and multiple other things, right? So those kind of agents, you can use some speech services and language services also. If you want to translate one language to other language, you can use the language services. And vision, if you have some information in an image format, and there are some text in that particular image, and you want to identify the particular text using the vision service, so you can use the vision services. Like this, multiple services are available as an integral component of the Microsoft Foundry. So if you are a starter, like I would recommend, first create one project, then under the project you can create multiple resources, and there will be some other components also you will be needing while creating the agent. For example, some storage service for storing some blog information, or some keyword in order to agent to access some of the MCP servers or some other components or some other sub agents. Okay, so you'll be using some authentication for that purpose. You'll be storing some of the key secrets files, right? So for that purpose, you will be needing the Azure keyword or something. So those kind of services will also be needed, and that can be managed as a part of the particular project only. So you can see this is a high level of check that I can use the Foundry resource. So there will be multiple model deployments. You can see multiple models are available. I will show you those things. So once you create the Foundry resource under this, so these are the services which is available. So here is what you can create some governance. So this is the governance boundary. That means you can create all the so how your agent works, how your project should have the connectivity, what level of security you need to the project. So that kind of settings you can configure on the Foundry level. So once you created the project, right? So for example, you are working on one rack project, rack development at Agentic project, and so some other team who is working on some other generative AI project or some other agentic AI concepts. So how it will be segregated. So this is the boundary where you can isolate one project from the another project. So like whatever the agents that you are building, it will be accessible within this particular project only. And so yeah, whatever the resources that we are creating under the Foundry resource, it will, as I mentioned earlier, it will have some dependency resources like storage, key vault, Azure AI search service. So if you have some digital document and you wanted to search some particular key items from it, so you can use the AI search services. So you can then integrate it into your project. So that's how the high level architecture works. Then let me quickly show you in the Foundry side also. Let me go to the home page. So this is the high level. So you can see in the under the Microsoft Foundry, you can create multiple projects. For example, I'm having two projects. This is my current project. So you can create new projects. You can view all the resources. So if you want to access the models inside this agent from outside, if you are building some Click-on based some agent locally and you want to test it, you can use the project link pointer API key, OpenAI endpoint. So using this also, you can do some testing on it local if you want. So there are multiple purposes for that, and you can also select your models. Like these are the models that are being currently available. You can see the Anthropic models are available, GPT models, Microsoft models, DeepSeek models, and many more. So OpenAI models are available. Like this, multiple things are available. Then testing playground. So playground is what most of the development part will comes into picture. I will quickly show that also. So playground is where we can build and test some agents, so like how it is actually working. So those kind of functionalities we can check. And if you want to compare different models, like as I mentioned in the beginning of this session, so each type of agents or AI agent that you are creating will have some particular requirements. So if you want some, so based on that you have to select the models. So how you can select the models? You can compare different models using these options, and based on your requirement you can select a particular model. If you want high reasonable agent, or if you want your agent to do some multitasking, so that kind of things and all, it will be specifically available in some models like Anthropic models or something. You can select those models. So yeah, that is this purpose, and you can explore the models also, like available models over here, and you see the recent applications. So here you have the discover option available. So here you can go and search your models. Going to the model section, you can search if there are different collections are available directly from Azure or Foundry Lab Hugging Face. You can identify based on source also. If you want only Anthropic models, I can select the Anthropic one like this. Yeah, so you can explore different items over here. So this is under the discover section, and if you want to build some agents actually, and you want to test it, like I have one agent over here. So if you want to build the agent over here, you can come here and create some new agent. You can add some tools, add some services. If you want to fine tune the existing models, you can use this option. And if you want to evaluate your agent based on multiple testing, and you're seeing whether it is the response is accurate or not, so those kind of evaluations you can do. You can attach some knowledge source to your agent. So all these things you can use it under the build section, and under the operation section you can use the assets, complaints, and quota. So quota is the main item. Like if you are building some high models or some very complex agents, then you will be needing the required quota available in the particular region. For example, I'm using the GPT model, so GPT model in the global, so it's a global standard one. For example, this model I'm using in the ECS region, so it will be having some particular scope. So this is having some 350 deployment quota is available. So within that quota only you can utilize this particular model. So if you need more tokens, then you have to request token. Then Microsoft has to approve it and will increase it in the background. So and some kind of admin functionalities and settings also you can do it. So we can see this part also later. So that's a quick high-level overview about Microsoft Foundry. For future videos, so please do subscribe, and please do comment also, like what type of topics you want to explore. And also I'm planning to create some project, like real-time project also I'm planning to create, and so that I can show you all some demo. So if you're interested, please do comment and subscribe. So based on the responses, I will start putting more videos on this basic to advanced level. Thank you all. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.